right, welcome everybody to another episode of Two Brothers, Same Mother. Of course, it's Sheik. We got AJ with a lot more Eagles gear than I do. There. So this is our Two Brothers, Same Mother draft 1.0. Few things
1.0.
Okay, that I want to point out. One, I don't know how you want to phrase it, AJ. I'm going to phrase it this way. I'm kind of boycotting Wentz talk, at least just for this week. I'm over it. You want to say anything about Wentz? Speak now.
Listen. Thank you for what you did when your time was here, but you know what? He's a Colt. I was hoping that it would cease. I get it. It was only Thursday that they made the announcement, but you know it's now Tuesday, and on Twitter and everything else, it's still Wentz. It's like, let it go.
Two things about this draft, okay? I've seen AJ's picks. AJ has not seen mine.
Nope.
We are going to do this draft straight up, no trades. We do have a slight difference here. I am accounting for the fact that in the 6th round, we're doing a 7-round draft, by the way, Eagles picks. In the 6th round, the Eagles should be getting a comp pick for Jordan Howard being let go. So I have an extra 6th round pick, which you do not have.
Oh, okay.
So
because I based it off of like after the name we do not speak of trade happened. I looked at what our, how our draft numbers lined up. I mean, with picks. So I did not know anything about the Jordan Howard joint.
Which is correct because the NFL has not assigned comp picks yet. So this is what will be assigned, and it's a 6th round pick. I will say this as a caveat. One of us has the Eagles drafting the QB. And what we're going to do is we're going to go your pick, then my pick for that round. Okay. We're going to do the fast 5, and then I got a little surprise for y'all and for you. Oh. By the way, AJ's to the left on my screen. That's why I pointed over there. So, I already look a little bit like a weirdo. I don't want to look like anymore. I'm doing my best impersonation of Brownie Man.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, just doing the impression of Paul Bunyan with that shirt, but it's okay.
I Paul Bunyan's cooler than the Brownie guy, so.
The Brownie guy, he
I'll tell you one thing, shirt comfortable.
Listen, and the size of that dog, you could be blue with isn't that the name of the ox? So you and I forget your dog's name.
That's all right, Logan. Yeah. Logan the box.
Yeah, Logan the ox. And Sheik Bunyan.
Ain't nothing like having a stubborn boxer in Philly, let me tell you.
Right.
So 1st round pick, like I said, we just gonna go straight through. So I'm gonna avoid the dramatics. I'm not gonna go, but so with the 1st pick for the Eagles in the 2021 NFL draft, you have them taking
Patrick Surtain, cornerback from the University of Alabama. And my reasoning is this. So you solidify your defense. You give that. We had a top 5 defensive line last year. Even if we stay status quo, okay, as far as like the contributors of that defensive line, we have that. Now you have 2 corners. And I personally think, even though he would probably start off as the number 1 guy, halfway through that season, I believe Patrick Surtain has the talent to become that number 1 corner. And now you're sliding Darius Slay over to the number 2 corner, and Avonte Maddox is now playing his natural position as nickel.
Now, 1st round pick, I have the Eagles going with another member of that University of Alabama team, Devontae Smith.
Okay. See, you fuck with me, God, because you said one of us chose a quarterback, and I thought I was just like, man.
I know I did. I didn't lie. I did choose a quarterback. I just didn't say where.
Right. That's why you got me. Okay.
That is called a teaser, people. So I think that, granted, there's a lot of ways you can go. Okay.
Mhm.
Patrick Surtain obviously is not a bad pick at all. I would not be upset with that. I'd be very happy with that pick, to be honest with you.
And and and,
Devontae,
and, and same thing with Devontae Smith. I would be very well too.
the interesting thing with Devontae Smith, okay, he's kind of small in weight, which is okay. You can bulk up. He's 6'1", so he's not super tall. Number one thing that he has is he's probably one of the best route runners to come out of the NFL draft in the past few years. He is able, with his head fakes, with his shoulder moves, is able to create separation, even though he doesn't have burner speed. So he's not as fast as Deshaun Jackson, which you lost. He's not going to be able to jump up and get 50-50 balls like that, like Alshon was in his prime. But the way that he works on his technique and the way that he runs his routes, you know he's going to be there when you need him. The way that he's able to get separation with his smarts, that's the type of stuff that Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco came into the league with. And if we could get something like that, where they're that savvy with it, man, I'm all for it.
Dude, sometimes that's what you need, especially like you go against a zone defense or something like that. You know what I mean? And you can just sit down right there, and you're not. How many times did we talk about the route running, how they cats are rounding them off and yada yada yada? So absolutely, I would not be mad with the Devontae Smith pick.
Your second round pick is
wide receiver, the other wide receiver from LSU, Terrence Marshall. What you just said, we do have a burner in Rieger. We have a Quez, and Hightower. We have the burners. And even if we, for some reason, kept Marquise Goodwin, we have burners, right? Terrence Marshall is what they were hoping J-Jaw would be. The issue is that you have to be athletic. He's like 6'2", he's like 220, 225. And he's a good jump up with that fade and good receiver for a young quarterback. Like hopefully it's Hurts. You know what I mean? There's not too many tall corners in the league anymore, and if you get him matched up with a 5'11" a defensive back, he could cause problems. So
with the second round, I have the Eagles take it out of Mizzou, University of Missouri, Nick Bolton, linebacker. I'm gonna get all the negatives out of the way, okay? Because here's the thing that Eagles fans are going to harp on if this board lines up this way. He's 6 foot, 232 pounds. Have you not learned by taking these undersized linebackers? I feel you. I feel you. This guy's a little different in the sense that he's not a safety that can play linebacker. No. He is a Mike linebacker, okay? This dude had double-digit sacks almost every single game and played his best game against Alabama, okay? He had games where he had 17 sacks. I'm sorry, tackles. 17 tackles, 14 tackles, 11 tackles. Yeah, right? The thing with him, he's extremely intelligent. He is built to be the centerpiece of your linebacker core, to be a middle linebacker. He is fast enough to be able to be a linebacker that's on the field during nickel and dime situations. He can keep up with a lot of tight ends. And the biggest thing is that I'm not so concerned about a linebacker being able to keep up with elite tight ends. Because let's be honest, if you look at the top 5 elite tight ends, there's no linebacker that can keep up with them anyway.
And it's not, listen, this ain't the 90s or early 2000s. A lot of teams run a 3 coverage, like a 3 safety anyway, to help out with those new athletic tight ends. Yes.
What I need is somebody who's a sure tackler, which this guy is a surefire tackler, that is not going to be afraid to put his nose in there when Saquon is coming down the field or when Zeke is coming through that hole. He's going to wrap, he's going to tackle, and that can lead the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I talked about him, and I was like, it's either Mississippi or Missouri. We talked about it, but yeah, he definitely reminds me of that old school. If this was, like I just said, 90s football, he would have that neck roll. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
very Bosworth.
Yeah. He definitely, you know who his build reminds me of was Zach Thomas from Miami.
And that's
Zach Thomas is only about 6 foot. Yep, absolutely.
And that's the thing. He has a more Zach Thomas in him than Mark Seminole. So,
Thank God.
yeah. At least in college, that's the way it looks. Your third round pick, your first of two third round picks the Eagles have.
Pick number 70. Darius Stills, defensive tackle from West Virginia. Stout, just he could actually be a second rounder. But I think he's going to be a late second rounder, but I think he'd be a third round pick, and I think he'll come in and actually almost make an impact right away, especially being alongside somebody like Fletcher Cox.
Now, with the 70th pick, that's what you said it is, right? With third
Then
round.
number 70th, yes.
Yes. I got the Eagles going offense with Javonte Williams, running back out of North Carolina. Now, here's the
Okay.
interesting thing. So, North Carolina had a good quarterback and two really good running backs. They weren't as good as back in the day, if you remember when Auburn had Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams. But it was that type of deal. Javonte Williams, 5'10", 225, but to me, he reminds me a lot of Maurice Jones-Drew. He's just a bowling ball with a little bit of shiftiness. The interesting thing, though, is that he can catch. 25 catches, 3 touchdowns, over 1,100 rushing yards. His other running back, his other backmate, also had over 1,000 yards rushing too. So it's not like, he was sharing stuff. He made the most of what he could do. And I mean, one of the scouts actually used that like a bowling ball in the open field, but he's not slow. So once he gets through that open field, he has the speed to be able to break one. It's not like he's just super duper slow. So he's not built like what you would see in King Henry in Tennessee.
He's a good complimentary back.
But a great complimentary back that if you needed him to be the lead back for a few games, he could. He don't have hands of stone. He could run a wheel route if you want him to. He has the speed to beat linebackers.
With the 85th pick in the third round, with our second third round pick, the one we acquired from Voldemort in the trade from Voldemort. And if those of you are not understanding why I am calling him Voldemort, it's because, i.e., as we said in the beginning of the show, we were no longer going to talk about them in the Harry Potter movies and books.
He who shall not be named.
So,
I got it immediately.
yeah, I know you did. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
Not everybody's as nerdy as us. So 85 is safety out of Pitt, Paris Ford. I would be surprised if the Eagles re-signed Jalen Mills. And with having a young Kayvon Wallace and McLeod coming off of injury, they're going to need to fill that safety void, and especially like I said, a lot of teams still even run with a 3 safety defensive backfield. So I know we have some other safeties thrown in, and I forget their names off the top of my head. But yeah, so I definitely see us going safety just to fill in that void left by Mills.
Now, with that pick, the second pick in the third round, I got the Eagles drafting a guy you probably never even heard of, Darius Stills out of West Virginia. So I just had a flip flop. I think as well that I think he will be available at the 85th pick. I think he's a great pickup. If you look at how they describe him, quick and violent, you want that out of a defensive lineman.
So I'll be honored, and when he is signed, I'll get the away jersey, and if you get the home jersey, and I'll wear the white. We'll get the Darius Stills jersey.
All right, with the first 5th round pick.
The first 5th round pick. I'm going to butcher his name. Pick 134. It's a center. Quinn McKiernan. I don't know. He's athletic. He kind of reminds you of kind of like a little bit heavier but athletic kind of Kelsey. You can pull. He can lead the screen game, things of that nature. He's had quarterbacks under center. He's had quarterbacks majority, like a lot of colleges now, out of shotgun. So I think I'm praying. I would like to think, even though it's getting ready to be March, it's crazy, right? Like this time next week will be March.
Right.
We're in the 3rd month of the year already. get ready to be. I would think that Jason Kelsey would have already made his decision on whether he was coming back. And I think it would be a good pick to go there with maybe his future replacement. So
All right, and with that first fifth round pick the Eagles have, I know the last thing that Eagles fans want to see is a cornerback from Washington because we still got that PTSD. But Keith Taylor, he actually has a fourth round grade. However, I think he can slip to the fifth round. 6'2", 190. Mainly on the outside. He has played some nickel and dime, but he is an outside corner, and that's what we need. We have a lot of times when we pick undersized corners that could do both. No, he's an outside dude. He's someone that can man up. His biggest weakness is that he can get caught looking into the backfield sometimes. Now, with that being said, though, he also is somebody, though, that gets laser focused in. He has the mentality to be a shutdown corner. Doesn't have the skill set just yet. But if you remember, a lot of corners who had that mentality and just needed to be coached up properly ended up doing really well. I mean, I think Richard Sherman was like a fifth round pick. So,
I got the Eagles at pick 138, going with middle linebacker from Auburn, KJ Britt. He's a solid tackler. Started at Auburn. Listen, man, he's seeing them dudes like he had to fill the hole against Najee Harris and all those other guys, Alabama and South Carolina and all those other schools. Short tackler, and I think he'd be a nice added young piece. I'm not saying he's the answer at middle linebacker, but he could be a good piece to at least start. And let's be real, he's better than Nate Gary.
So I know you showed me your picks via text. I really didn't look at them when I made up my list. So I have literally KJ Britt with that same pick.
Once again, all right, this one I get the home jersey, you get the away.
The thing with KJ is, when you were linebacker in the SEC, they played very, very rough. And he had to deal with some big time running backs as far as he had to deal last year with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had to deal with Najee Harris. Like he could be a very decent linebacker for you.
Right.
So all right. Now we get into the sixth round. I know you only have one sixth round pick. I have two. So you can start with your.
This one's pick 166. This one is more of a depth. As I've told people before, and I've been beating on this drum even during this season, our offensive line is not in much shambles, as people think it is. So I'm with the sixth round pick, pick number 166. I'm going with Sadeus Hutcherson, guard out of South Carolina. Once again, it's depth pick. So, okay, real quick. On paper, Mayalata, left tackle, Sam Alo guard, left guard, Kelsey center, Brooks right guard, and then you got Lane Johnson right tackle. And then you got the one kid, I'm Herbert filling in. You still got Andre Dillard. Herbig. You got Andre Dillard, who was a first round pick who's still under his rookie contract. So right there, those are 7 quality. Then you got the other kid,
Driscoll.
Driscoll. So there's 8. Then you got the worst dude of them all, Matt Pryor at 9. Now you get what I'm saying. You had this kid at guard, and then along with if you go with that other kid that I picked 2 picks ago, that center. Now you got depth along that. Now you got more depth than you really need at offensive line, and outside of these 2 rookies, you got guys that really, even at young, got a lot of playing time and stuff like that. So kind of shores up the offensive line depth.
Now, in the 6th round, I'm actually going with depth at tight end. Noah Gray, tight end from Duke. Athletic, 6'4", 240. He has played the slot. He likes the block. He's played fullback as well. he could, in goal line situations, depending on what Sirianni does, you need a fullback, he could be in there because he's that good of a blocker. His biggest issue and why he's not higher up in the rankings is that he is not extremely coordinated with his route running. So if somebody gives him a big bump, it's hard for him to recover, to get back on his route. And that's his biggest issue, which, once again, weight room.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like with like you hips.
Yeah.
Hips.
The other thing because of that as well is that he struggles with yak.
Who else had that issue of getting bumped or be thrown off his route and couldn't get yak? He was brought down very easily.
Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz.
Now Zach Ertz was a second-round pick, so there's a
yeah, 1,000%. I was just saying, hey, I'm just trying to make, you know what I mean, some type of comparison. Go with your second sixth-round
pick. Quarterback out of SMU, Shane Buechele. So this is where we draft the QB.
Okay.
We are going to need a third-string quarterback. Shane Buechele actually was very talented. He was the starter at Texas as a freshman. The reason why I transferred was when they changed coaches and whatnot, it just wasn't really clicking. So he went to SMU and he lit it up there. The big thing with him, rhythm passer, bang, 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 extremely accurate, great pocket presence. The biggest problem with Shane Buechele and why he's a 6th-round guy, 7th-round guy, and not a 3rd-round guy, jack of all trades, master of none. He's athletic, but he's not super athletic. He got a good arm, don't got a cannon. He can move around in the pocket and stuff, but he can't really, be one of those guys that's going to run the option and you want to expect him to run for 40 yards. He can get you 5 or 6. And and he's not big. He's 6'1". So if he was 6'4", he'd probably be a 2nd, 3rd-round pick. If he had a stronger arm or if he ran a 4 or 5.40. So that's the big thing. He is a prime example of a guy you could bring in as to be a 3rd quarterback, could develop into a very reliable number 2. He does have things super accurate, very rhythmic, great for a West Coast offense. Just, once again, 6'1" not that big for a QB.
Nah.
So
number 198, 7th round, I went with Stevie Scott, running back from Indiana. Kind of got a little size on him. Like you said, not a burner. Can once again catch the ball in the backfield. I believe Indiana runs a lot of that spread too, and he lined up in the slot, did all those things as well. So he almost kind of fits the mold of what, even though we really don't know 100% of what Nick Sirianni ran, but I believe what we are going to see is a lot of the offense we ran in 2016, 2017 style of offense. And if that's the case, that he would be, best case scenario, he would be almost like the Corey Clement of the offense.
And if you watched Indiana football, I got a chance to watch a few games. I will say, you work on Saturdays most of the time. So I got a chance to watch a lot of more college football. But since the football season has ended, you've got a chance to do a lot more research than I have. So I got a chance to see a lot of Stevie. Very, very patient runner. He's one of those dudes that will wait for the hole to open. And for the 7th round, I got us drafting a center out of Stanford, Drew Dahlman. 6'3",
From Stanford, he's smart.
Smart guy, 6'3", 266. He ran a pro-style offense, has great technique, smart, anticipates stunts. He's able to be very quick with his feet, get out and block when you're doing a lot of your screen game, when you're doing a lot of your traps and things of that nature. It's a little undersized and just needs to get stronger, which honestly sounds like a poor man's Jason Kelce. Like literally, he's a poor man's Jason Kelce clone.
Yeah, and that's what I think about the other ball too. Same thing. I mean, he's a little bit bigger than that guy, but yeah, he would kind of remind you of there.
All right, we got through 7 rounds. How about that?
Yeah,
and we'll update it as it goes along.
And with the number 6 pick, the Philadelphia Eagles draft Kyle Pitts.
Right. With the number 6 pick, the Philadelphia Eagles have traded to number 20 to the Bears. If they trade out of the 1st round, bro. Anyway,
there's no way.
We're not gonna go there.
Like they would have, like, that means they would have to get Like they would have to get like what, like 3 number 2s. Like it would be insane. They
Um,
got back from 6 to 33 or whatever. It's crazy.
so we're gonna do the 5 pack of questions here. Your the best bad weather game you got a chance to watch or attend. And it doesn't have to be football. It could be anything.
Snowball.
Snowball. Yeah.
I was there. Yeah, I was at the Snowball.
So
Eagles Lions in 2013.
I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I actually had a chance to be in the house for Game 5 of the 2008 World Series where it rained.
Right.
I don't know. I wasn't at the Snow Bowl, but you know, it's a game clinching moment. So you can't
That
beat
shit
that.
had me some. That was like some old man, like Steve Van Buren NFL films type shit.
Right. An Eagles draft pick you were 100% wrong about. And I want to be very clear about this. It doesn't have to be negative. It is always say, hey, I thought this guy was really good and he wasn't. It could be a guy that you thought was stunk and you didn't, in honor of Jalen Hurts, where everybody, he might turn out to be a really good quarterback. It could be a guy that you were wrong in that way too.
Because I'm on draft day. I'm normally the half glass full guy.
So, and I'll give you mine.
Go ahead. You go ahead, yours.
I'll
Should
be
be
honest
Miles
with you.
Sanders.
I don't even remember the guy's name. Okay, I don't even remember the guy's name. But Brian Baldiner pumped him up so much that I thought when Andy Reid drafted the fireman out of Ballard, we were gonna be good.
Bro, me and you.
And I remember you be like, he's trash.
I remember, my wife was just like, you need to calm down because you were like, he wouldn't have been in New York if he wasn't any good. I was like, you fucking fireman. Oh my God, I was so wrong about
that. And we're doing, we're doing Eagles draft picks. My all time is being wrong about Taj Boyd.
You know what? I want to go with, and it wasn't that I said he was going to be bad. It was just kind of because he was kind of a late pick, and I really didn't care. I think he was like 5th or 6th round, and I really didn't care. And he's one of the all-time Eagles greats is Trent Cole.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he was like, no big deal. I mean,
yeah, I was like, no, he won't make the team.
I thought in there, I never thought Jordan Mailata was going to be anything.
Very true. Yes. Yes.
And so there's a positive one too. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to.
You know who else? You know who else? Now that you said something, you know who else I thought was going to be big time, and it kind of the same thing. Everybody was hyping him up. Oh, he's used to big time football. He played at the top level in Texas. Like he won like 2 state championships. It was all this shit in college. Kevin Kolb.
Really? You were a Kevin Kolb believer?
Bro, I was all down for Trey McNabb and seeing what he was all about.
Wow.
Let's see what number 4 can do. Let's see what number. And then he had those 3 games where McNabb was hurt the 1 year, broke the record, first quarterback, first 3 starts, over 300 yards, yada yada yada. And then, as they say, he became the starter and the bell rang.
I know you're not a huge baseball fan, but and I'm excluding what I just mentioned about the World Series game. Best baseball game you ever attended?
Best baseball game I ever attended to. I can't remember if you were born yet. Okay. You may have been born. I don't think our sister was born. No, I know she wasn't born. Mom and I had went to a Phillies game. It was Phillies and Dodgers. Oh my God. Earl Hershiser was a starter. I'll never forget this. The Phillies were down 12 runs going into the bottom of the 9th, and they scored 13 and then they scored and they ended up scoring and winning the game in like 16 innings. I remember it was on the school night and everything, and I remember she let me stay home from school and everything when the Phillies ended up. No, it didn't go into extra innings. I'm sorry, that was another game Mom took me to. Philly scored 13 runs in the bottom of the 9th, win the game.
I remember being in college, so we talking like 06, 07. And I can't remember who the Phillies were playing, but I remember 5 of the 9th, the Phillies are down like 8-3. Okay, And it was one of those May nights where we had cheap seats and there was a little bit of a chill in the air. But
Mhm.
I remember my boy was like, yo, we got to stay to the end of the game. We here, might as well, you know.
Mhm.
And matter of fact, I could tell you it was '08 because I remember where I was living at. When I tell you, I think we were down 5 runs and we scored 6 runs in like 7 batters. I remember Pat Burrell hit the game-winning home run, and it was just so quick. Happened so quickly. It's not like how baseball is now, where everybody's either trying to hit a home run or they strike out, and it can be really slow. Nah, like it was boom, boom. It was like base hit, double, single, double, 3-run home run. Like to the point where you didn't have time to even get excited. It's just like, yo, what the fuck just happened? Like it was like, yo, it's over. But it was so cool to be there. And like I remember it was like 8 of us. And it was a classic thing to do as somebody who was in the late teens. You know, we got a $10 ticket. Of course, as you know, the Phillies won the World Series that year. But like tickets were still relatively cheap. We rode SEPTA there, rode SEPTA back. Like it was just cool. It was just a good time. A statue you wish, or mural. So statue or mural, because Philly is a city of murals, that you wish they would put up.
Mm.
And keep it to sports. So, you
You're
know,
getting too cultural for me. Statue of Howie Roseman. No, just kidding.
it'll be right next to PennDOT.
Keep it to sports.
So I'll tell you one that honestly, there's two that I would want. Okay. So inside Temple University, they have a statue of John Chaney.
Mm-hmm.
However, I wish for the statue, I would love to see a statue of Dawn Staley. It doesn't have to be at Temple, but Dawn Staley has meant so much to women's basketball, so much to Philly. And there used to be a mural right there at, I want to say 9th and Market, but it was sponsored by Nike. And once her relationship with Nike ended, they covered over the mural. But as a mural, what I think would be a cool piece is if they had a picture of this. You got a piece where it's Wilt, goes from Wilt to Dr. J to Barkley to Iverson. And the way that I would have it is it looks like Wilt's grabbing a rebound. And then the next part is Dr. J pushing it, up the court. Then you have Barkley kind of with the ball. Then you see AI about to do a crossover, just as you see Embiid doing a dunk. So that way it looks like they were all playing together.
You know what? I really don't have a thought on that, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, if you come up with something at the end of the show, it's fine. I know it's a little,
Because I know it's like, okay, I would like to have a mural somewhere, but it's already praised because to me it's the biggest play of Philly sports history. Is the or Eagles history, should I say, is the
Philly.
The Philly special. But I haven't been at the link, so they may have that there. Like you go, I know
No, that's
got
okay. I don't think there is one yet. I mean, an official one.
But I would like to see like a little mural of it. You know what I'm saying?
Just like I don't think there's a statue of Brian Dawkins.
That a statue of Doc, that would definitely be. I would rather have them have a mural of Doug talking to Nick and then a statue of Doc than a fucking mural of Doc, which they do have, and a statue of fucking two dudes that aren't even on the team anymore.
Right. Okay, and here's the final one. If you could attend the NFL draft in any city, with the exception of Philadelphia, where would you attend the NFL draft at?
That's a
I'll
good
tell you
question.
mine. I would, assuming that it's warm, okay? So warm weather. I would like to attend the NFL draft in Buffalo. Only because of the fact I could only imagine what kind of stuff they'd be doing up there. You put people through tables during a preseason game. I can only imagine how you celebrate the NFL draft.
I want to be cheesy. I would say,
Green Bay.
If they did the NFL now in the NFL draft.
Oh, you said cheesy.
Ohio.
I thought,
Oh no, like in Ohio.
Okay,
Like
that's
receiver.
good.
Yeah,
That's
because then you
dope.
can make it a weekend and fucking, you know what I mean, hit the Hall of Fame and all that shit, and even see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too as well. So,
Here's my surprise that I have for
okay.
everybody. I'm going to share my screen. This is Pro Football Network's mock draft simulator. What you do is you set it to 7 rounds, and it will actually do a mock draft where you get to choose for a particular team, including trade offers and things of that nature. So what we're going to do right now is actually do together. So, you could be Howie Roseman and I'll be one of the 5 GMs that's supposedly already for a job.
All right.
And we'll pick together. So, you ready?
Yeah, everybody likes vanilla ice cream, but I think I want to try some chocolate.
Listen, man, that's what your wife said. Here we go.
Hey,
Okay.
let's draft. All right.
So, oh wow. So Miami took an edge rusher in the 3rd round. Now we have 3 trades offers. So Miami wants to give us pick 18, pick 36, and a 2nd round of next year for pick 6.
No.
Chicago wants to give us 20 and 52. And Detroit wants to give us pick 7 and 112.
Sure.
So okay.
Go back a spot. That's all.
Okay, so we'll accept that. And then Detroit picked Devontae Smith.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Patrick Surtain.
Hold on. There we go. All right. So we have Patrick Surtain. That is our first pick. Oh wow. Jamar Chase lasted the pick 13.
Mm.
And what I like about this is that this kind of shows, it's in real time too, so you're reacting to stuff. Asante Samuel Jr., Javonte Williams went. Wow, I had him going in the 3rd round. He went upper 2nd round pick. So 2 other trade offers. Packers offering us a 3rd and a 2nd next year. The Bengals are offering us 1 pick, pick 38, and pick 111 to swap for pick 37 and 191.
No, I'll take that. Why not?
Okay.
That's it.
And they took offensive guard Watt Davis. Now Detroit wants to offer us 41 and 154 to move back 3 more spots.
No.
I don't think that we need to move back anymore. All right. So top people that are available: tight end from Penn State, cornerback from Georgia, Jalen Phillips, Richie Grant. Terrence Marshall is still there. Did you want to draft so we could go wide receiver?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you can always review. I mean, we're not on a clock if you wanted to review. The one thing I will say in the app, it lets you go in and out of the trades. So you don't have to reject them in order to see them, whereas opposed to on the desktop, you have to reject them first.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna chill on the trade for a little bit.
Yeah, well, after this, I mean, like this is next year's stuff, and that's no fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so 70th pick. Okay, Dylan Moses, linebacker from Alabama, who's dope, but Michael Carter, running back from North Carolina, who's also really good.
Is that who you had?
I had his counterpart that actually went, but that already went already. I know me personally because we drafted a corner, we drafted a wide receiver. I would go with Dylan Moses, but you also have Brevin Jordan, a decent tight end. Amari Rogers, a decent wide receiver.
Go with Moses. Go with Moses.
Okay. And so far we got Surtain, Terrence Marshall, Dylan Moses. Close. There we go. So we got safety from Florida State, offensive tackle, Patrick Jones, an edge rusher from Pitt. Another edge rusher from Miami, linebacker from North Carolina, Elijah Moore, who's a decent wide receiver from Mississippi. We do have that center you were talking about from Wisconsin Whitewater.
Yeah, I got him going, and I got him as my freaking 5th round pick.
Well, he's ranked as a top 100 prospect.
Go with the safety from Florida State.
Okay, I was thinking Patrick Jones get the edge rusher, but if you want to go safety, it's up to you.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go safety.
Okay. So we have back-to-back picks here. Okay.
Oh shit.
So looks like we got an edge rusher. We got cornerback DJ Daniel, James Hudson, offensive tackle from Cincinnati. Kyle Trask is still around as a backup QB. I don't know if you want to go that route in round 4.
No.
So let's see here. Okay. Let's do it like
How the hell did we get 4th round? Oh, from the trades.
yeah. So running backs, we got Trey Sermon from Ohio State, Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma. If we were going to look tight end, Trey McKinney from Georgia, Nick Eubanks from Michigan. And if we want to look at, like I say, offensive guard, Ben Cleveland from Georgia, Aaron Banks from Notre Dame. Defensive side of the thing, cornerback. You want to?
You know what? Let's go back to the running backs.
I mean, he split time at Ohio State, but we could do Trey Sermon.
Well, he's not a starter, so.
So, all right.
Maybe
And then on defense, I want my boy Keith Taylor.
All right.
Kyle Trask goes to Houston. See, we should draft Bobby Brown. Just because his name's Bobby Brown.
I wish you would have told me I'd have put my glasses on.
So top picks, offensive guard from Grambling State. Whoop. Let's see, edge rusher here, quarterback, some linebackers, running backs. I mean, those.
Yo, Darius Stills is still there?
Yes.
Grab him up. Me and you both had him in the 3rd round.
And this is the start of the 4th, right? Or start of the 5th.
5th, yeah.
157 for 164, 243, and 245.
Nah.
Is there somebody that you want, or do you just not?
Sure, F it.
Yeah, no, we're not doing any more trades. Okay, so available. Still got that guard from Grambling State. We'd also have, and just a reminder, we got Patrick Surtain, Terrence Marshall, Dylan Moses, Hamza. I'm not even going to try. I know who he is. He's actually decent. I just can't pronounce his name. Trey Sermon, Keith Taylor, Darius Stills, and we still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're wondering why in the world we are drafting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 picks, well,
we trade.
We made trades, and also, we're going to have to do a lot in the salary cap. So this is going to help.
Go with that tackle.
You want to go with the tackle? I was going to go with the guard.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, go with the guard for Grambling State.
Okay.
So we didn't have a 5th round pick.
No, we did. We just had like an upper of the 5th round.
Okay.
So we didn't draft the tight end yet, and we got Riley Moore from Kansas State. If we look at tight ends, I mean, there's a few.
Go ahead. Let's rock with the tight end, yo.
Yeah, it looks like my man from Duke got drafted already. So
yeah.
And then I think we have 3 third-round picks or
3 7th-round picks.
Yeah. So we got Dan Moore, offensive tackle, linebacker from Northwestern, Patty Fisher. Now that's my quarterback. You know what?
Yeah, go ahead and grab that quarterback.
Or we can grab KJ Britt.
Oh yeah, grab KJ Britt. Damn, we had him in the 5th. Good God.
But this is where, and this is what's cool about this, because I've done this a few times today. I've seen KJ Britt go in the 3rd. So
there's your quarterback. Go ahead, grab your quarterback.
There we go. We are a quarterback factory.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Did we drafted a guard? Did we draft a center yet?
I don't think so. Let me see. We drafted a guard. We did not draft a center. So with our last pick, let's go center. And there's my man from Stanford. There we go, Drew Dahlman.
Boom. Mic drop all day, Shorty. And I'll tell you right now, if the Eagles ended up doing something like this in draft, they had up like this, man. Listen, they'd be happy. All is almost all would be forgiven on Howie.
Here's,
Almost.
and here's the thing. So you get Patrick Surtain, right? Terrence Marshall, who could be a decent number 2 or possibly even number 1. Dylan Moses, who the only reason why he's considered to be a second-round pick was because he got hurt. Or else my man might be a top 15 pick. Hampson, Florida State was really decent. Trey Sermon is a great backup running back for you. Keith Taylor, I think it could develop to be a starter. Darius Stills, we already told you about him. You know, David Moore is actually a really decent guard prospect. It's just he played at Grambling, FCS.
Right.
Bradley Moore at Kansas State, he's a bit of an unknown. He's basically off of just size because Kansas State's quarterback situation is real rocky. We already told you about KJ Britt and Shane Buechele and Drew Dalman. So
I am convinced that Stills and Britt are both going to be Eagles because both of us in our own personal mock drafts drafted them, and they both fell to us in the simulated draft.
now, just an idea, if we looked at some other teams here. The Jags ended up with Trevor Lawrence, offensive tackle for Texas, an edge rusher from Texas, you know, and they ended up doing some trades too, right? You look at what the Jets did with Zach Wilson, and then they got Rashad Bateman, was one of the top wide receivers in the next round, and then Xavier Collins. Actually, their first 4 picks are dope. This is the one that I don't see being realistic. The Dolphins decided to go with the edge rusher from Michigan with pick 3.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Now, they did get Jalen Waddle, pick 18, and Javonte Williams, which are 2 top-tier wide receiver running back combo. So, you know, but with that being said, you know, like it's always interesting to see what people do too. I thought that was just a fun exercise, seeing where things would drop, what happens in the trade room, kind of, so to speak. Now, the interesting thing is that as we go along, we'll do this again. We're going to do this a couple more times. There'll actually be draft notes there. I know when we did our mocks, of course, we took notes and everything like that, but that way in real time, so that we're not grading our draft board on who we would have picked, but they were taken already, like some other organizations. Right. But I mean, that's all I got for tonight. I thought, you know, it is very good draft special 1.0. Any thoughts on your end?
Yeah, man, it's our first time doing this. And it's kind of cool. Like, even though the season was a fucking catastrophe, it just gives us a lot in our first full off season of doing this. It gives us a whole lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Until next week, we'll talk to you later. Keep you up to speed on the Eagles.
Now, are we going to do a mock true next week, or
I haven't decided.
Or are we going to do more free agents type deal?
I was thinking next week we're going to dive into the free agency. It will be beginning of March, right before the NFL.
2 weeks prior. Yeah,
we'll probably have more news on what Eagles are doing as far as releasing people and restructuring.
And some more news on how we're actually going to construct the Facebook Live / YouTube Live.
A reminder, we will be doing a Facebook Live. We haven't decided yet if it's going to be through Facebook specifically. If so, let me rephrase that. We're going to do a Facebook event. We might do it through YouTube. We might do it through Zoom. We might do it through Facebook Live. We're figuring out what would be best, because what we would like to do, people, just like how you were able to see the draft that we were doing and we were kind of just off in the corner. I would love for you to be able to watch the broadcast with us, so you just don't see our reaction. And it's not just You just don't hear it in the background. So that way
Right.
you don't even need to have your TVs on. You can just be watching us.
Yeah, I tell you right now, I can almost guarantee a lot of people will just be watching just to see if I have a fucking meltdown if the Eagles draft a quarterback.
You, yo, like,
So whatever we do, they need to be able to see our reactions, and
for better or for worse.
for better or for worse, absolutely.
But all right, y'all. Listen, have a great week. I can't believe second month of the year is already done. And just stay safe, man. Any parting words?
Come on, spring. Fuck the snow.
Right. See y'all later.